If you're a casual trail rider that has any one of the 9 problems that I showed in this previous video, then I'm willing to bet that you're making at least one of these mistakes. Number 1 is starting out on the wrong bike. Now this could be one that has too much power for your skill level, maybe it's too tall for your short legs like me, maybe it's too heavy, even if it was the one that was recommended to you. Because if you are a beginner or a novice level trail rider, then starting out on too much power will make it harder to increase your speed, your skills, your confidence, while reducing your risk. Because while having more power can be exciting, once you start riding in the woods, or if you have, you'll know that you don't need much power to ride fast, especially in the woods on tight single track trails. I know this because there's plenty of expert level riders that are riding beginner bikes like these and racing in the A or B class when it comes to like an enduro or a hare scramble race, and they're competitive. And I know that when I'm riding my CRF 230F, which is a little girl's bike that doesn't have much power, I know that I don't need more power to keep up with the faster guys in the woods because I'm efficient and confident in my riding skills. I may not be very fast out in the open, and I'm even worse on the motocross track, but when it comes to riding in the woods on tight, flowy or technical single track trails, that is where skill is way more important than having the most power, or suspension for that matter. Number 2 mistake that you might be making is trying to push your pace out of your comfort zone in order to increase your skill or speed on the trail. This could be trying to keep up with faster riders, maybe entering a race, maybe just getting over the rear and gassing it to get up a hill or over rocks or get through sand, riding too much bike that has more power than your skill level is capable of using, or maybe you're just trying to carry more momentum into and around corners to increase your speed. But you don't need to ride out of your comfort zone if you want to increase your skill, your speed, your confidence. It's like driving a car in the snow or icy roads and you're trying to keep up your normal highway speeds. You might be able to do it when you're driving a straight line, but whenever you need to stop quickly or slow down quickly or make a tight turn, you're probably not going to be able to stay on the road without wiping out. I know that I'm a prime example of not riding out of your comfort zone, but still improving your skills, because I was a nervous trail rider and I was so much slower than my friends and didn't have the confidence to do technical trails with big hills or logs or rocks. But I didn't like the feeling of riding out of my comfort zone where I started getting loose and out of control. But once I found out how to improve my skill, I was able to do it while staying in my comfort zone so I could reduce the risk of crashing and getting hurt. Mistake number 3 you might be making is you're not really sure what's right or what's wrong when it comes to proper techniques. So you're just guessing and practicing, getting more seat time, going over and over at it again. And when you ride faster and you crash less, you think that you're improving, at least when it's on the same trail. But if you go to a new trail, which obviously you're not familiar with, but if you have to slow way down to about half the speed and you feel a lot more nervous because you don't know what's around the next corner, are you really improving your skill and speed and confidence? Mistake number 4 you might be making is blaming your bike for not being a better rider, whether it's getting up hills or getting over big logs and rocks. Maybe you think that you need more power or more suspension to be able to do those, so you just have the mindset that, oh, I'm not going to improve. Or maybe you spend the money to upgrade your bike, you get more power, better suspension, maybe a suspension revalve, or maybe even upgrade your bike, and then you find out that, well, I guess it wasn't the power or the suspension that was holding me back. Yeah, you might be able to wheelie a little bit better, but that's not getting at the root of the problem, because if you ask a pro rider like Cody Webb or Graham Jarvis to do a really technical section that you seriously struggle with on your KTM 300, they'd probably be able to do it on a Yamaha TTR 125 mid-size bike with ease, which means that it's not the bike holding you back, it's the rider. Which nobody really wants to hear, but if you really want to fix the problem, you got to change what you're doing. Mistake number 5 that you might be making is asking your buddies for advice, especially if they're a faster rider. Think that, well, they know how to ride faster, they can give me good advice. And while this can be true, sometimes faster riders are not the greatest coaches because they don't understand exactly what they're doing, or maybe they don't know how to communicate it in a way to you that's easy to understand or easy to implement. Or maybe you're asking multiple different riders and they're giving you varying advice. Someone says this one thing, someone says the other thing, so which do you follow? Well, you might have to try it for yourself, and hopefully you don't try out the wrong one, end up getting hurt. This could be holding you back from riding trails faster without pushing out of your comfort zone. Mistake number 6 you might be making is trying to copy the pros. This could be from watching a YouTube video or riding tips and then going out to the trail and practicing even their most basic techniques, but then you find that it's hard to implement when you go and try it. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to the pros, but if you think that you can just copy what they do and go out and do it the next time that you ride and do it with ease or with confidence, you're just fooling yourself, because what they're doing, they're making it look so easy because they've been doing it for years or decades. And if you expect to do that within the same day or even the same week, you just got to know that you need more patience than that. And while it is possible to have a lot more confidence within weeks or months, you're not going to go from a beginner to a pro level when it comes to speed within just a few weeks or months. You don't need to ride out of your comfort zone if you want to increase your skill and your speed and confidence on the trails. Just think about when you're learning to drive a car for the first time and you're using safe and proper habits. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will get. And the more comfortable you get, the easier and more comfortable it will be to increase your speed while reducing your risk of getting in an accident. The key is first getting comfortable, and then the speed will come as a byproduct. It's like putting the cart before the horse. If you're trying to ride faster without getting comfortable first, this is when you're riding out of your comfort zone and greatly increasing your risk of sliding out or smashing into a tree and getting hurt. You might not be comfortable or confident at first, but as you form positive riding habits, you will be able to increase your speed without pushing out of your comfort zone. And if that sounds interesting to you, then you should subscribe or check out my next video on how trail riders can increase their speed without pushing out of your comfort zone.